Hey, welcome to the NFN Radio News Podcast, brought to you by notfakenews.biz. I'm Bob Gaddy, editor and publisher of Not Fake News. The decision by Major League Baseball to take the July All-Star Game away from the city of Atlanta is causing reverberations both on Capitol Hill and in Trumpland, where the defeated former president was true to form, making veiled threats against those who cross him. But MLB's decision was the right one, and they did it because the state's governor, Kemp, signed a new law designed specifically to make it harder for people to vote. The law targets people who are likely to vote for Democrats, i.e., African Americans. The thing is that Georgia's new voter suppression law is just part of what's going on around the nation today as GOP politicians react to losing the presidency and control of the U.S. Senate, and to Donald Trump's unconstitutional challenge to the 2020 election that he lost in a landslide to Joe Biden. If Georgia voters don't like it, they need to know who to blame: Trump and the Republican butt-kissers who helped him spread his big lie about the election being stolen. That's our topic for today, so listen to The Trump Big Lie Fallout Continues from notfakenews.biz. The unfortunate economic consequences of Georgia's new voter suppression law, including fallout from Major League Baseball's decision to move its July All-Star Game from Atlanta, should be laid directly at the feet of Donald J. Trump. Were it not for Trump's bitter, unfounded claims that he lost the election to Joe Biden because it was rigged and replete with fraud, Georgia likely would not have enacted the law that prompted Commissioner Rob Manfred to move the game from Atlanta's Truist Stadium. It's as simple as that. And now, Trump is whining and making threats against companies like Delta Airlines and Coca-Cola for speaking out against the law, and some GOP lawmakers are threatening to end MLB's antitrust exemption as their way to retaliate. Baseball is already losing tremendous numbers of fans, and now they leave Atlanta with their All-Star Game because they are afraid of the radical left Democrats who do not want voter ID, which is desperately needed, to have anything to do with our elections, Trump said. Boycott baseball and all of the woke companies that are interfering with free and fair elections. Are you listening, Coke, Delta, and all? Representative Jeff Duncan, Republican from South Carolina, says he's instructed his staff to draft legislation to remove a federal antitrust exemption for the league because MLB officials had sought to undermine election integrity laws. Why does MLB still have antitrust immunity? Senator Mike Lee, a Republican from Utah, posted on Twitter. It's time for the federal government to stop granting special privileges to specific favored corporations, especially those that punish their political opponents. Representative Buddy Carter, Republican from Georgia, tweeted that MLB is pathetic for caving to the lies of the left and declared, "Boycott the MLB." But the fact remains that were it not for Trump's big lie, none of this would have happened. Georgia's Republican politicians would not have been motivated to enact a new law aimed at addressing fraudulent activity that did not take place. The All-Star Game would still be played in Atlanta, and the resulting furor would not be occurring. Senator Raphael Warnock, the Democrat from Georgia, another critic of Georgia's new law, urged businesses to protest, not by leaving Georgia, but by coming here and fighting voter suppression head-on. He said MLB's decision was the unfortunate consequence of these politicians' actions. Senator Warnock might have added, those politicians' actions were the unfortunate consequence of Donald John Trump. Georgia Governor Brian Kemp, who has been in deep doo-doo because of his refusal to accede to Trump's post-election demands to help overturn the election results, is now trying to recoup his right-wing support to avoid a primary challenge in his re-election bid against the likely Democratic candidate, Stacey Abrams. Here's what Kemp said at a press conference. Free and fair elections are the foundation of who we are as a state and a nation. Secure, accessible, fair elections are worth the threats. They're worth the boycotts as well as the lawsuits. I want to be clear. I will not be backing down from this fight, and neither are the people who are here with me today. Not be intimidated, and we also will not be silenced, Kemp said. Major League Baseball, Coca-Cola, and Delta may be scared of Stacey Abrams, Joe Biden, and the left, but I am not, and we are not as Georgians. Well, maybe so. But the fact remains there are economic consequences caused by the loss of the Midsummer Classic, and many of those consequences will be felt by local businesses and workers who would have benefited from the financial windfall the event would have provided. And those people are all voters. The cause of that misfortune should not be forgotten. It is Donald Trump who is to blame, as well as all of those GOP politicians who helped perpetuate his big election lie. So the Trump fallout continues. Thousands of his most rabid supporters attacked the Capitol on January 6, trying to subvert Biden's election, resulting in death and destruction. Georgia enacted its restrictive law, and dozens of other states are considering hundreds of other bills aimed at making it harder, not easier, to vote. All thanks to Trump. So Republicans are desperate. They lost the White House. They lost the Senate. And now they're trying to rig future elections in Georgia and elsewhere so they can avoid being consigned to oblivion. But you know what? I have a suggestion for the GOP. Instead of trying to cheat, why not come up with ideas and proposals that would actually help make lives better for everyday Americans? That's how to win elections. That's the only way to generate voter support that will last. It's a lesson they need to learn. So hang on for just a minute. After this quick message, I'll be back with a final word. Hey guys, thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed this podcast. It'd be great if you'd follow NFN Radio News so you don't miss an episode. Just look for the NFN Radio News at Spreaker.com and click on my big old ugly picture. Check out notfakenews.biz too, where you'll find new material just about every day by some excellent writers with perspectives on a whole range of topics. You can sign up as a member at notfakenews.biz. And of course, it's all free. Also, let your friends know about this podcast and about notfakenews.biz. Our goal is to be informative and entertaining as we comment on the latest developments in the news with just a little lean to the left. And don't forget to check out Tempo in the Times. That's our new companion podcast with co-host Scott Raminger. Streaming right now, major podcast platforms, is a great episode with best-selling political thriller author Rick Pullen. Streaming beginning this Friday will be a new episode in which former New Jersey Governor Jim Florio makes his debut as a guest host, and the topic is the development of wind energy. So watch for that one. To learn more and for easy access to all those episodes, just visit tempointhetimes.com. So, hey, thanks for listening. This is Bob Gaddy signing off for NFN Radio News at notfakenews.biz.